friends, new and old, welcome to the channel. Today we're launching into part 2 of my Monster High G4 project. If you want more information on what I mean by the G4 project, you can watch my first video where I went into detail on what this project is. But short version, I am making a Generation 4 a potential 4th generation for Monster High. And if you only missed 2 weeks ago's video, you can, it's when I introduced Abby Bombable and Frankie Stein to the cast. I also went into some details on the doll designing aspects of this project. So if you want to watch either of these videos, there's a playlist with all my Monster High themed videos in it. It'll be in the card above, it'll be in the channel page, in the description. So for this video, we are starting the trend of having 2 characters per video, we are continuing the trend of having 2 characters per video. And the first character on the list is Draculaura. Now, like I've done before, we're going to do a little bit of cliff notes for each generation so that we know what we're working with, so that when I explain my version of the characters, you can see what I've taken from, what I've changed, to get everybody all on the same page. So in Generation 1, Draculaura was a Romanian or Hungarian vampire who was turned into a vampire from being human and was adopted by Dracula after her mother passed away. She was vegetarian and fainted at the sight of blood. She was also a romantic idealist. She was like a hopeless romantic. She wanted everyone to, get along. She would develop crushes on cute boys, and then eventually got a boyfriend, which was her best friend's brother, Claude, and that created some drama, but they were very cute. Very cute, very cute. In Generation 2, a lot of those traits carried over. Gen 2 is usually a very soft reboot. However, she was the focus character, so they really focused in on those traits and had more plot lines around those traits, primarily on her being naive and emotional and idealistic rather than more practical. Once again, G3 comes in and has bigger changes than the other 2 generations. She's Romanian and Taiwanese. She is the biological daughter of Dracula rather than being adopted. Her parents are now divorced, and they're both vampires. So she is a full-blooded vampire. She also is a witch, which is seen as a taboo hobby rather than a monster classification, as it was in previous generations and is in mine. I returned to the witch being a classification of a subclass of normie culture rather than a hobby that people could pick up. But yeah, G3 kind of really leans into her being a vampire witch. Again, she kind of has like this e-girl style and is, again, the romantic of the group, is still dating Claude. But there's noticeable differences between all of these. And so when bringing into my version of the character, I really wanted to latch onto the things that drew me to Monster High as a whole when it was first released. I wasn't super into it, but I always thought Draculaura was the most interesting character to me. And so I brought back certain things that were the pinpoint things that, to me, are quintessentially Draculaura, even though G3 may have removed some of those. So I tried to fuse these things together while returning specific things that, for me, were the basis of her character. However, I really didn't want to remove all of G3's influences. And so as you'll see, there'll be some stuff that's like a crossover between the 2. First thing is, her full name is Draculaura Vlad. And the reason it is that is because canonically she does not have a last name. She is the only character, seemingly, who does not have a last name. And so fans have been making up names forever, so I went with Vlad because that is Dracula's first name generally. And in this Dracula is not the last name, it's the first name of her father figure, so I just flipped the names. It is also a Hungarian, Romanian name. She is also adopted by Dracula. So I gave her back that because I thought that was interesting, because none of the other characters have like an adoption backstory. Even as far as I know, in like Gen 3, I think everybody, I mean, I could be wrong, but I believe that that's the case, that there isn't any of those. So I brought that back because I thought that was super interesting for her character, where most of them are the biological children of monsters, where she is like sired in. She was only turned in the last couple of decades, so she's not completely used to being a monster. She still has memories and stuff from her human life before. So she's learning her vampiric abilities, but hasn't had, like in other versions, she is 1,600 years old. She's not that old in mine. Her mother was a human witch, so Draculaura is more magic sensitive, which helps her to learn her vampiric abilities faster than her turned peers, but at the same time, she's not a witch directly. She has like the same fair pink tinted skin. She's got the petite and curvy body like she does in G3. And she has the black and pink split dye. However, the pink is lighter. She has very vibrant pink hair. Oh, that's the back side. She has vibrant pink hair. I imagine her with slightly lighter pink hair, but that same kind of split down the middle, e-girl haircut. She has hooded dark brown eyes. She has the birthmark right under her left eye. This is my right side. Her left eye. And I gave her back her Romanian accent, because I felt like that was the most, like, extremely recognizable part of her character. Her fashion sense is a combination of, like, goth Lolita, like in Gen 1, and, like, a pastel goth e-girl vibe. She wears skirts and boots and has the black and pink everything. She has bats and hearts, and she has sparkles in her makeup. I would love to say it's just because she's, like, so quirky and, like, so sparkly, and, like, her bubbly personality. Admittedly, part of it is because of Twilight, because I just feel like if anybody is going to adhere to any Twilight stereotypes, it would be Draculaura to some extent. So let me have this. Her personality boils down, she's the hopeless romantic, she's the boundless optimist of the group, and she is, again, also still she still faints at the sight of blood, which didn't go away when she turned into a vampire, so she doesn't eat anything with blood on it, so she's still a vegetarian or vegan adjacent. However, she feeds off positive emotions rather than blood, so she is essentially an emotional vampire. But because she feeds off those good vibes, she can lose energy if she's around people with a bad or a sad mood for a long period of time, and it can lead to her having a toxic positivity ideal. It's not in a malicious sense, but it's in a, I needed the room to be pepped up because otherwise I'm going to crash too. So that's kind of her personality, but also, like, her flaws in that. She loves, when the vibes are good, she loves musicals. She loves both platonic and romantic affection. She is, like, a super, like, loving person. However, she hates the sight of blood because she still faints regardless. She had that when she was human, and it never went away when she turned into a vampire. She hates being ignored, and she hates when people are in a bad mood. Her general, like, must-haves on her is sun protection, because, again, sunburns are really bad, and makeup for her friends to apply onto her, because she does not appear in mirrors, so she usually has her best friend Clawdeen put her makeup on for her, or someone else. She is essentially in every club or extracurricular that she can, that doesn't overlap. So she's part of the fear leading squad. She's a part of the theater club. She's in the gaming guild. She's part of the Ghoul Normie Alliance. She would be in sports if she wasn't the cheerleader. Yeah, she wants to be involved in as many things as possible, and she gets along with nearly everybody. Like I said, her mom had passed, but her name was Stella, and she was a witch. She was then adopted by Dracula. Her best friend is Clawdeen. I'm about to explain her a little more in detail, and I'll explain their friendship when I get to Clawdeen. She's also super close with Frankie because they're both extremely high energy social butterflies. They like being friends with people. They like trying things. They like doing that. So they both basically will both just run off and go do that, leaving their less high energy friends to their own devices. She's also good friends with Laguna Blue and Twyla Boogeyman, and she's also friends with both Cleo, Denial, and Toralei. Even though her friends don't get along with them, because she generally gets along with everybody, even people that her friends don't necessarily get along with, because it's hard to dislike. She's one of those people that it's hard to dislike. Like I said, she's dating Claude, which is her best friend's brother, which has caused some awkward tension, but they've worked through that. And she also has an albino vampire bat as her pet, named Count Fabulous, which fans of this franchise would know that is usually her pet in varying forms. So in this generation, it is an albino vampire bat, so it's white and pink. And so, with Draculaura out of the way, I'm going to talk about her best friend, Clawdeen. Now, Clawdeen's notes are a little scrambled because she has a lot of different... when I made Clawdeen, I found her to be one of the more challenging characters, as she was my least favorite main character in Generation 1, and I am not a fan of a lot of things they do with Gen 3, so I really had to dig deep in her, write down as much as I could from every generation, see where the overlap is, and apply my own spin on the character more than some of the other ones. So, for Generation 1, Clawdeen was the fashionable character. Anybody that knows, like, how fashion doll lines in the 2010s, there was always the one doll that was like the fashionista character more than the other ones, who was like the fierce, confident one, and that was Clawdeen's like primary characteristics. She was always loyal. She would always have her friends back no matter what. She had a good relationship, or at least a decent enough relationship, with her brother and her sister, where they would name that she had other siblings, but Claude and Howleen were her two primary, like, named siblings. They had toys. They were plot relevant to Monster High. However, they would have some, her and Howleen would have some back and forth because they were two siblings that share a room, so they kind of had fun with that, like, dynamic. She was also affected by full moons, which would cause her to use her, like, more animalistic tendencies or tap into this athleticism. It wouldn't necessarily change what she looked like physically, but it would give those, like, werewolf aspects, like, heightened. She was also implied to be a bit of a flirt in her diaries. However, she never had the dating history in any of the other media to back up that claim that she would say in her diary. Which was always kind of like a weird inconsistency. Again, G2 was the same, just less of it. The biggest change was her family dynamic, where she would have a far more, like, were-kid siblings, and they sort of implied that Claude and Howleen existed because dolls of them existed, but they never appeared in the movies or any of the, like, show or anything. So, like, Draculaura and Claude never dated because he didn't exist. They also had reformed the werewolves so that they would have an altered form where they would have a full wolf form and then their like werewolf form, which, you know, it's the usual form that you'd see her in, but you would also have this wolf form, rather than just physically enhancing her other form. In Generation 3, again, bringing in all the big differences, she is Afro-Latina. She's a half werewolf who who has a human father and a werewolf mother. Her mother went missing. She didn't know that she was a werewolf till super recently, and that's the plot. She still has confidence, like she's still a confident character. However, she had more of a weird kid vibe, as she was obsessed with monsters before realizing she was one. And she kind of has that like adorkable protag energy that a lot of main characters nowadays have, rather than the cool girl, popular girl persona that she had in Gen 1. Also, in this generation, they once again changed how werebeasts work, where she has her animal beast form and a full human form, which all werebeasts have. So I don't understand the point of having her half human if they're going to do that with all of them, but I didn't watch Gen 3, okay, so I am not judging, I am just showing. So, with that kind of dicey stuff all over the plays, this is what my interpretation for a Gen 4 Clawdeen would be. She's a werewolf, has a human form, but is full werewolf. Her human form looks a lot like her, but it's less animalistic, doesn't have the ears and stuff, and is less furry, but, you know, is generally similar. She has dark skin or fur. She is tall with like an average body shape. She has dark brown curly hair with purple accents under it. So like an under dye. She has glowing green, golden yellow eyes, sharp canine teeth, and she has wolf ears and a tail. Now, I'm addressing the tail real quick, because most iterations of Monster High up to this point, Clawdeen has not had a tail. None of the werewolves do. There's some like real world lore reasons or whatever, but it has been a debate within the community of whether the werewolves should have tails or not. I'm giving her a tail, but it would be like detachable, so if you were to collect the dolls and say, I don't want this, you just take it off and then boom, she has no tail and you're all good. Anyway, her fashion aesthetic, I really leaned into like the Y2K mall rat kind of vibe, where she has like fur, animal prints, lots of denim on denim. She has aesthetics of like the moon phases and zodiac signs. Golden jewelry. She has a double ear piercing, lots of purple and gold. She wears chokers, that kind of aesthetic. Her personality is that she is the mom friend of the group. Her loyalty includes both blood family and her friends, and she will stand by them no matter what. I have also returned back to the flirt personality because there wasn't a main character that had that characteristic, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to give it to Clawdeen since she originally had it and never utilized it. She also is really into astrology and astronomy, anything that involves looking into the night sky and imagining what's next. She just absolutely loves the stars, moon signs, all that stuff. However, her flaws come in with the fact that she is allergic to silver. She breaks out into a rash. She can have a really quick temper, especially during a full moon. And she grows hair and fur at a rapid pace. So she is usually furrier than her peers, and she has come to just kind of accept that that's who she is. She loves celestial bodies, stars, moons, planets. She loves shopping, and she loves scented candles and that kind of like aromatherapy. She hates picking sides in an argument. She hates when people hurt her family, blood or chosen, and she hates waking up in the morning. She is not a morning person at all. Her constant things that she has with her is her daily zodiac. She is a Libra, and a hairbrush to tame away all the crazy fuzz everywhere. She is on the Fear Leading team. She's part of the Ghoul Normie Alliance. She's the president of the Fashion Club, and she's also a member of the Besties affiliate group with all the Beast, which are just anything that's animalistic. As for her family, I imagine she still has like a decently large family, but I tried to simplify it for, simplicity's sake. She has her dad Barker and her mom Lori, both werewolves. Werewolves in my universe are born in sets, like dog litters. So Claude is her litter mate, so basically her twin. She also has a younger sister, Howleen, and a younger brother named Howl, who has transferred to a UK werewolf school called Huntington. So he doesn't go to Monster High with his sister, but he writes letters and stuff to them. Like I said, her best friend is Draculaura. Draculaura's idealism works well against Clawdeen's more grounded approach in life, but they are completely inseparable. You can't have one without the other. And again, it was sort of awkward when Draculaura started dating Claude, but they were both really oblivious. Both Claude and Draculaura were oblivious to each other's feelings for long enough that Clawdeen picked up on it before it became a thing. So she's like, you know what? I don't even care. It would be more awkward if I didn't see this coming a mile away. So they're all good. Clawdeen is also really close with Frankie because Frankie has the enjoyment of life and the high energy and eagerness to spend time with her friends, which makes her a perfect fit for Clawdeen's school family. She's also good friends with Deuce, who is Cleo's boyfriend. They always kind of hang out casually, even though Clawdeen cannot stand Cleo. We'll get to that more when we explain Cleo's character. She's also good friends with Laguna because they're both always up for friendly competitions, and she's good friends with Heath Burns, as they are both flirtatious characters, but don't flirt with each other. As far as, like, love interests, Clawdeen doesn't really have any. Again, she's kind of she doesn't really have any significant other at this time. She also has a chocolate-colored cat named Crescent. That's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that this video is late. I was super sick last week, so me and my amazing sister who edits this video is bringing this out to you as quickly as we possibly can. So I hope that it was enjoyable. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, comment section's always open. You know the drill. Like, subscribe. Like I said, there below in the in the description, there is the playlist of all my Monster High videos from this point onward. And I think that's everything I have for today. I can't wait to see you all again really soon. Bye.